Welcome to our online Sunday services at First Unitarian Church of St. Louis, and thank you for joining us on the first Sunday of August. Good morning, my name is Andrea Barron, she, her. I'm glad to see you all here this morning. I especially want to welcome any visitors or newcomers. If you're new to our congregation, please fill out a newcomer form found at the link in the chat window. In the chat, you can also find a few other useful links, including today's order of service, our YouTube channel where service recordings are posted, and information about our religious education program for our families and children. Automated closed captioning is also available for those who would find it helpful. Click on Live Transcript at the bottom of your screen, then show subtitle. This morning, we're happy to have the final installment of our Summer at the Movies worship series. Today, church member Sarah Dashner will offer a thoughtful exploration of the 1979 classic coming-of-age movie, Breaking Away. Now, since one of the important aspects of worship is being present in community, we invite you to continue this moment of welcome by switching to gallery view and turning on your webcams to wave to each other. We're keeping everyone muted, but feel free to type your greetings in the chat. It's so good to see you all. Now, please turn off your webcams again and feel free to return to speaker view. Welcome to this religious community where we strive to be a welcoming congregation, inspiring lives of loving kindness and integrity by nurturing spirituality, building community, and advancing justice. We are glad you are part of our community this morning. This morning's prelude music is Prelude on Herr Jesus Christ by Paul Mans, performed by our organist, Earl Naylor.
May we be reminded here of our highest aspirations, inspired to bring our gifts of love and service to the altar of humanity. May we know once again that we are not isolated beings, but connected in mystery and miracle to the universe, to this community, and to each other. Come, let us worship together. Now, let us sing our hymn of the month for August, hymn number 40, Morning Hangs a Signal.
we light this flame for the art of sacred unknowing. Humbled by all that we cannot fathom in this time, we come into the presence of what we do know, perhaps the only thing we can ever know, that love is now and forever. The only answer to everything and everyone in every moment.
One of the ways that we answer the call of love is through the weekly sharing of our joys and concerns in this beloved community. Now let's quiet our minds, open our hearts, and feel the Spirit moving among us. We offer healing and supportive thoughts and prayers for Kevin Kellogg, who will have heart bypass surgery the first week of August. He will be recuperating for several months. I now invite you to type any sorrows or concerns you're holding into the group chat window. We hold any sorrows unnamed with tenderness and compassion. May they be lighter. As a community, we also share our joys with one another. We are happy to report that Emily Colton's breast cancer surgery was very successful, and she continues to recover and receive further treatment. I invite you to type any joys you wish to share into the group chat window. Cheers for Emily's success. Coolness in our air. Acceptance into a chaplaincy training program at the VA hospital. Joy to spend the day with family. Looking forward to visiting an old friend. A trip to Colorado. Birthday wishes. We hold these joys with gladness and celebration. May they be magnified because they are shared. And I'm delighted that we were very heavy on the joy side and small on the sorrow side this morning. Our words of prayer this morning are from a Celtic Lorica by Maureen Kilran. Spirit of all blessing be with us in the ordinariness of our days. May hope's light guard us and keep cynicism from our hearts. May the energy of laughter build endurance for the dark times of our lives. May creativity's vision grant the possibility of seeing old relationships with new eyes. May the oil of healing keep us from anger's hardness or despair. May the mantle of humility give courage to admit when we are wrong. May compassion's loom weave in us the discipline to forgive. May patience help us bear in mind that ours is not the only scale of time. May the flame of justice be a beacon for the choices we must make. May peace be ever in us and sustain us in our stressful days. Spirit of all blessing, be with us in the ordinariness of our days.
Fuente de amor, ven hacia mí y al corazón cántale tu compasión, sagrado valor, sublime amor, hasta moldear la justicia de la vida. Orégame, libérame, fuente de amor, ven a mí, ven a mí. Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart of the strength of compassion. Blow in the wind, in the tides, in the sea. Move in the hand, gifting light, shape of justice. Roots hold me, leaves, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me.
Our reading today is from Unitarian Universalist minister Sean Parker Dennison. I will love you by being brave. I will walk directly into the eye of every storm, push back against the wind that tries to stop my forward motion, and bear the bruises from the hailstones that mark my skin. I will love you by being strong. I will lift the weight of 1,000 broken hearts, pull the whole world behind me on a single chain, and break my own shell to grow tender and green. I will love you by being wise. I will close my mouth and open my eyes and ears and heart. Push aside the obvious, the easy, the darling, and the dead. And begin again and again to know and not know everything of love. I will love you by being weak. I will reveal the softest parts of my being and hold myself open. Pull off the armor, the exoskeleton, layer by layer, and build nothing in its place. I will love you by being. I will breathe in and out and cherish the beating of my own heart. Push back against the darkness so that my flame does not suffocate and burns away despair, leaving room only for desire. I will love you by being weak. I will love you by being wise. I will love you by being strong. I will love you by being brave. I will love you by being. The mission of the First Unitarian Church of St. Louis continues, even in this time of pandemic, and even as we dare to dream of reunions coming soon. We are not passing a physical plate, but there are many ways to donate, including by mail, online, or by text. Your generous support is needed now more than ever, so please give as you can. I hope you'll enjoy our offering music, Raise a Sail, with music written and performed by church member Tony Fatman. The text is inspired by this poem from the 13th century Persian poet Rumi. On a day when the wind is perfect, the sail just needs to open and the world is full of beauty. Today is such a day.
The winds of grace blow across the desert sands. The winds of grace blow across the weak and frail. The winds of grace blow wherever God has placed his hand. But to catch the wind you have to raise a sail. Raise a sail to help your brothers find the way. Raise a sail, catch lightning on the rod. Raise a sail to help your sisters through the day. Raise a sail to catch the breath of God. Winds of grace blow through slums and huts and mansions too. Winds of grace blow across the heads of state. Winds of grace blow through multitudes and through the few. But to catch the wind you have to raise a sail. Raise a sail to help your brothers find the way. Raise a sail, catch lightning on the rod. Raise a sail to help your sisters through the day. Raise a sail to help the breath of God. The winds of grace blow gently through a fragrant flower. The winds of grace blow through cold rain on a gale. Winds of grace blow through every day and every hour. But to catch the wind you have to raise a sail. Raise a sail to help your brothers find the way. Raise a sail, catch lightning on a rod. Raise a sail to help your sisters through the day. Raise a sail to catch the breath of God.
Breaking away. Coming of age for every age. No one has to tell Dave Stohler to raise a sail. He is ready to catch a gale. He has no fear about the danger of travel or his unknown destination. He is ready to be blown away, surely to a brighter future. For anyone telling a coming of age story, it certainly helps to have the effervescence of Dave Stohler at its center. In truth, coming of age is a messy business, and it's not just for the young. We can suffer self-doubt and discord with our families at any age. Our struggles may take years or may never be complete. But breaking away is an invitation to be humble and to help each other overcome obstacles to living lives of joy and gratitude. I love Dave's singing. He feels exactly how the music is meant to make him feel when he sings. His technique might not be the greatest, but he doesn't know that. He doesn't even know there's a technique to be mastered. The singing is a throwaway theme in the movie, but it showcases Dave's approach to life. Dave leans into whatever brings him joy. In breaking away, he is inspired by the Italian bicycle racing team to achieve great speeds on his Italian made bicycle. He trains constantly and wins all the local races. He also learns Italian and becomes an expert on Italian culture. His affected Italian accent and absolute hero worship are naive, but sweet, at least until he creates an Italian exchange student alter ego, Enrico Gimondi, to gain entry to the Indiana University campus and to the affections of a young lady studying there. Dave and his three friends who grew up in Bloomington don't fit in on campus. In fact, violence usually erupts when they visit. There's a frat boy antagonist who fights Dave and his friends, but the whole campus represents a culture of exclusion. They call the natives of Bloomington cutters, a derisive nickname for the stone cutters who did all the stonework for the campus buildings. Mike, the leader of Dave's group, played by Dennis Quaid, describes the double impact of the slur, saying, "To them, it's just a dirty word. To me, it's just another thing I never got to be." Dave and his friends are sons of former stonecutters in a town where stonecutting is a dying industry. They are non-academics in a college town. They are stuck. And Dave's imaginary life is not going to change that. Dave's father is also stuck. Ray Stohler can't guide and support his son because he has regrets about how the course he charted when he was young turned out. Ray was proud to be supporting himself as a stonecutter at 17. However, in the time frame of the movie, he has been out of that job for many years. We know him as a used car dealer who takes satisfaction in selling the sourest lemons on the lot to college boys. In my mind, I see Ray stuck like a large branch at the narrow pass in a stream, with Dave, the smaller, more flexible branch, floating down behind him and getting stuck. The constant pressure of the current immobilizes both of them. Ray can't get out of the way because Dave is putting so much pressure on him. Dave can't push him through. He can't push Ray into becoming the ideal Italian patriarch he should have been born to. He can't clean up his father's ethics at the used car lot, an ironic endeavor considering Dave has just assumed a false identity for himself. Parents and their adult children get stuck like this frequently, sometimes for a very long time. Dave expects his life to change the day the Italian bicycle team comes to race in Bloomington, and it does. The Italians establish a substantial lead over the other racers, but Dave catches up to them and greets them in Italian and matches their pace as if he can finally join that team right there in the middle of the race. With one underhanded movement, an Italian cyclist destroys Dave's bike and dispatches Dave, his bike, and his dreams into the ditch. The next scene shows Dave ignoring his mother's questions about what happened to him while he apologizes to his father. "I'm sorry I made you take that car back. Everybody cheats. I just didn't know." His father is still guarded. "Well, now you know." Dave breaks down. His father awkwardly comforts him. He tells his wife, "I wanted him to be miserable, but I didn't want him to be this miserable." Dave's admission of failure gives Ray the space to be fallible too. It also shows him that Dave still needs a father, a real father who has always loved him the best way he could, not an idealized Italian father with boundless enthusiasm for his 9 or 10 children. The next scene with Dave and Ray is Ray's coming of age. They are on the college campus after dark. It's peaceful. In the story, the college has been doing some community outreach too, and nobody bothers them. Ray tells Dave how proud he was to be good at his job as a cutter. He even felt good about working every day to the point of exhaustion. He gave everything that was needed to that job, and that was satisfying. He points out a building and says, I cut the stones for that building. He regrets that he no longer feels comfortable visiting the campus to admire his work and reflects that he built a campus that was out of his league. Dave shows his family loyalty by claiming that he doesn't want to go to college and that he is proud to be a cutter. Ray cuts him off with, You're not a cutter, I'm a cutter. This is Ray saying, I am satisfied with who I am, and I will be proud of you for pursuing the path that satisfies you. It is permission and support for Dave, who does enroll at Indiana University. It is Ray's commitment to dignifying his current work with the integrity he had as a stonecutter. It is his recommitment to parenthood. As an older viewer, I have a lot of respect for Ray, who, even though he had to support himself since he was 17, gave Dave a gap year. And to do what? Pretend to be Italian? Ray is honoring his commitment to his family. However, I'm a Dave. I too wanted my father to be different. I didn't understand the impact of the events that shaped his life. If my father had been more of a risk taker, maybe I would be too. Or more likely, he would have had an entirely different life and I wouldn't exist. Perhaps my father could have changed after I was born. If that's so easy, then I could have changed myself without changing him at all. I did grow to appreciate my father for who he was. Not until I had my own child, though. I didn't change in any dramatic way. I became more aware of how rich my life was and more confident in the abilities I had. I missed sharing my gratitude with my father during his lifetime. I can only imagine what it might have meant for both of us. My letter that arrived days after his death meant a great deal to my mother and helped us mourn together. My letter also served as a prayer of gratitude. My father loved me unconditionally. He hoped my every dream would come true. He lauded my every achievement. He didn't criticize me as an adult. He appreciated me for the way I was. He honored his commitment to his family. It has taken a lifetime to know how fortunate I was that he did, and how foolish I was to take him for granted. I have said before that parenthood is sacred work. It is sacred work done by amateurs. Parents can't be omniscient or omnipotent. They can't always lead by example. Their superpowers are their ability to hold on to the unconditional love they had for their children as infants and their courage to remain protective even when they themselves are vulnerable. Young people have a sacred role too. They have the courage to race a bike or raise a sail, to trust their ability to ride with the wind. If they crash or capsize, they can be like Dave and have the courage to admit defeat and ask for help. Coming of age is a moment where parent and child find common ground to work together, learn together, and inspire each other. Coming of age stories bring to life the moment that we, the adult children, come to see our parents' flaws as injuries they sustained growing up, injuries they played through to protect us from the same fate. The best of these stories include the moment that we as parents see our children embrace their legacy. We don't all get to share our coming of age with our parents or our children. I am sorry if you are from a family where that was not possible. But any story of mutual forgiveness and deep understanding of our closest human connections represents a coming of age. We all deserve to tell and hear that story about our own lives. Amen and blessed be. Please join us in singing our closing hymn, number 6, Just as Long as I Have Breath. Our closing words this morning come to us from J.E. Abernathy Jr. Let us be humble, for the worst thing in the world is of the same stuff we are. Let us be confident, for we too are composed of the same stuff as the stars.